Hello everyone and welcome back to WNBA Trending. I'm your host, Ava, and today we're diving into a hot topic that's generating a lot of buzz across the basketball world. We're talking about Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, her highly decorated college career, her early professional journey in the WNBA, and the surprising comments made by Serena Williams' former coach, who didn't hold back when comparing Clark's accolades to those of other young basketball stars like Azzi Fudd and Paige Bueckers. This is a conversation that touches on legacy, pressure, expectations, and the reality of transitioning from college stardom to professional success. So, let's break it all down. Caitlin Clark's rise to superstardom has been one of the most exciting stories in women's basketball history. From her very first days at Iowa, Clark captured national attention with her limitless shooting range, flashy playmaking, and fearless competitive spirit. She quickly became a household name, not only in women's college basketball, but also in sports overall. Her record-breaking performances, including becoming the NCAA's all-time leading scorer in Division I basketball, cemented her as one of the greatest players in the college game. But with all of those historic achievements, there's still one thing missing from her resume: a national championship. And it's that absence that has led some analysts, commentators, and even figures from outside the basketball world to weigh in on how much it should matter in assessing her greatness. Recently, Serena Williams' former coach, who knows all about greatness and the pressure that comes with chasing titles, offered his honest verdict on Clark's legacy so far. His comments made waves because he drew a direct comparison between Clark and other highly touted young stars such as UConn's Paige Bueckers and Azzi Fudd. According to him, Clark's resume, while filled with incredible stats and records, still feels incomplete without that ultimate team accomplishment, winning it all on the biggest stage. The coach emphasized that in sports, championships are often the measuring stick by which greatness is judged. Serena Williams herself is remembered not just for her dominance, but for the 23 Grand Slam titles she captured. Without those titles, he argued, Serena's career would still have been amazing, but it would not have been immortalized in the same way. And he applied that same lens to Clark. Now, this perspective has sparked a firestorm of debate among fans and analysts. On one hand, critics argue that it's unfair to diminish Clark's legacy just because she didn't win a national championship in college. Basketball is, after all, a team sport, and one player, even one as dominant as Clark, cannot single-handedly secure a title. Iowa faced powerhouse programs like South Carolina and LSU during Clark's run, and those teams had deeper rosters, more size, and, in many cases, more balanced scoring options. On the other hand, supporters of the coach's viewpoint argue that the very best of the best, players like Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, and Breanna Stewart, not only racked up stats, but also led their teams to championships. In their eyes, the ability to translate personal dominance into ultimate team success is what separates great players from legends. When we bring Paige Bueckers and Azzi Fudd into the conversation, the comparisons become even more interesting. Both players were highly touted prospects for UConn and carried huge expectations from the moment they stepped onto the court. Injuries, unfortunately, slowed down both of their college careers. But even with those setbacks, Bueckers in particular has had a chance to shine in big tournament moments, and many analysts believe that she still has a strong chance to capture a championship before her college career ends. If Bueckers or Fudd win a national title, some might argue that it gives them a kind of edge over Clark when it comes to evaluating legacies, at least at the college level. But others would point out that Clark's individual dominance, her cultural impact, and her role in boosting viewership and visibility for the women's game already put her in a different category altogether. It's also important to note how much expectations shape this conversation. Caitlin Clark entered college with hype, but she exceeded it by becoming a generational figure. She wasn't just a great player. She was a ratings draw, a social media phenomenon, and a role model who inspired young athletes across the country. With that level of influence comes higher scrutiny. Every time Clark played in March Madness, all eyes were on her. Every time Iowa made a deep run, the narrative revolved around whether she could finally deliver a championship. And when she fell short, the criticism inevitably followed. In some ways, This mirrors the journeys of other great athletes like LeBron James, who was criticized early in his NBA career for not winning titles despite his dominance. Only after winning championships did the narrative around him shift to celebrating his all-time greatness. In the WNBA, Clark's story is still being written. She's already making an impact, showing flashes of brilliance, and adjusting to the pro level against some of the best players in the world. The fever are building around her, and while championships don't come overnight, many believe she has what it takes to eventually deliver Indiana another WNBA title. If she does, then the missing titles narrative from her college years may fade into the background. But for now, the comments from Serena's ex-coach serve as a reminder of the constant tension between individual greatness and team success in sports. Clark's supporters insist that her influence on the game, her ability to break barriers, and her statistical dominance already secure her place among the greats. Critics, meanwhile, say that without at least one national championship, her legacy will always carry an asterisk when compared to others who lifted the trophy. At the heart of this debate is a bigger question. How do we measure greatness? Is it purely about numbers and impact, or does it ultimately come down to championships? Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, all are remembered not just for their talent, but for their rings and titles. But then you have athletes like Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson, or even tennis stars who never won a Grand Slam but are still celebrated for their brilliance. Caitlin Clark, in many ways, straddles that line. She is already immortalized in women's basketball history books, but the missing titles will always be part of the conversation, at least until she changes that narrative at the professional level. So, what do you think? Do championships matter as much in assessing greatness as Serena's former coach suggests? Or is Caitlin Clark's individual brilliance and cultural impact enough to secure her place among the legends, regardless of team titles? One thing is certain, this debate isn't going away anytime soon. Clark continues to inspire, continues to dominate, and continues to push women's basketball into new heights. Whether or not she ever hoists a championship trophy, her legacy is already shaping up to be one of the most influential in sports history. That's all for today's deep dive here on WNBA Trending. I'm Ava, and I'll be keeping you updated on all the latest stories shaping the world of women's basketball. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.